In this video, we're going to talk about how do we get this breadcrumb menu that is on the design. So in the Bootstrap tutorial, it is under pagination. Now you wouldn't know that, but that's where breadcrumb is, and it's at the very bottom. So you need to scroll way down to get to breadcrumbs, and it shows you that what you do is create an unordered list and set the class equal to breadcrumb. Ta-da! That doesn't look very hard, and sure enough, if I go into my code and I create this UL, there's mine, right? And I just said class equals breadcrumb. I picked the names that I wanted on their home, get involved events. I linked home to index.html because that's the main page. I set get involved to that. Now get involved, I had to think about what to set it to, because if you notice in my get involved is just a drop down menu, right? It's not a page itself. So I had to choose which page to link it to. So I linked it to the donate page. And so that's how I got that. Also, so I add this. Also, I added my classes for the font styles, the ones that I had done in part one. And then when I did that, I refreshed, and there I get the menu. This is the breadcrumb menu that I get from Bootstrap by default, except for my font settings. Notice that it has a slash in it. It has a white background. So it's not exactly what I want. So now that I've got it, which is awesome, I need to go in and be able to style it. So let's see if we can capture it. Remember, we're going to use this. Breadcrumb is the class that is on that. So I'm going to see if I can get that, but I want to make sure that I've got a background color of red. I want to make sure I'm capturing it right. And sure enough, so I'm able to get it really easy, right? So I'm able to get that easy. Well, let's go ahead. The background color is something, in fact, we want to change, right? But we don't want to have any color at all. What we want it to do is we want to see through the breadcrumb to the back. So really the color we want is transparent. And that's a key word that you can use with color, and it just allows whatever's behind it to come through. And so there. So I got that, which tells me what I've got, right? And now that I've captured this, then I can go ahead and set the styles as I want. And I can add margin, padding, background. Other things that I can do is I added a class active, so I could identify that I could style this one a little bit different in the style design. That last one has a different coloring than these other two, so I simply gave it a class so I could access it. And in the style, to make changes to that, I can simply say, well, this is in the class breadcrumb, and it has a class set to active. And then I can set the styles on that very last element in the breadcrumb. Now notice something about this breadcrumb. This one, the home get involved events, works great for this page, but won't work for any other page. So this is something that is actually, we're going to use this template to make all of our pages. And many of the things are going to stay exactly the same. But this is one of the details that will change. For each page, we're going to have to identify what is the specific breadcrumb for this page. So we're going to have to do that. The other thing we're going to need to do is to change the symbols that are between our breadcrumb, right? And so to do this, again, we can go to W3 Schools, and we can type in, here you can get more information if you type in breadcrumbs in the search bar, and it comes up, it actually has how to make a breadcrumb navigation. Now this one is not with Bootstrap, but it gives you ideas of what you need to override. So we're not going to use, it does in fact start with that very similar here, similar UL, but now we're going to go down and look here where it shows where you add a slash. And it gives us all of the information here of the selector that we need. And so I'm going to capture this, and what we're going to do is we're going to change then what, so if I capture this and come over here, It is a UL with class set to breadcrumb, and you can do with or without that UL there, right? But then it says it's an LI inside there, but it's specifically an LI that follows an LI. So what this does is this allows you to capture all of them except the first one, because you're in this breadcrumb class, and it is an LI that follows an LI. Now notice that this LI does not come right after an LI, so this one won't be captured. But this one comes right after an LI, so it will, and this one comes right after an LI, so it will also be captured by this style rule. Now what this style rule is saying, in fact, we could test it, right? By doing, again, we could do that background color red as our test to see if we're capturing it. And sure enough, oh, it shows us what we're capturing even here. And this is the part, this is the before part. What this does is this allows you, it says, if I just do these, I'm capturing the actual LI, and we can see that here, where it goes red with the capture of the LI. But what we do when we add this before, and it works with or without, with one, oops, I must not have saved it, I'll type it again. This says put something before the LI, so right before. And then you can see when it does that it captures just that symbol, which is exactly what we want. So we don't need it to be red, and we don't need these other details either that I captured. One thing about when you copy things, you're not going to get exactly what you want. You want to go ahead and change all the colors to what you want. But now we want to be able to put the symbol that we need right here. And so we have to find the code for this symbol that we need. Well, there are lots of character options, and what we need to do is find the right code. So to do that, I do a search for CSS character codes, and I specifically want the hex version. So this one worked good for me. I look around for a while till I find it, because I need this hex version of the code. And here it lists, I mean, lots and lots and lots and lots of symbols that you can use. We don't get to be as picky. There's lots of really fun arrows that we can use, but because the design document tells us exactly what we need this 003E. And so even though it's fun to play, we won't get to do that. So we just need 003E, and we save that and come back to our page and refresh. And, oh, that didn't work really well. Let's see what I've done here. I've got the content 3E. So I'm adding it, but I'm not getting rid of theirs. Let me, sorry. I see that it's typed in here, the slash. I don't want the slash in there. I just want the code. So I need to save it so I don't have that slash. And there I have those greater than signs. And now I can make other changes. I can say I want the font size to be bigger because that doesn't look quite big enough to me. Doesn't seem to match the design document. Refresh. There it's a little bit bigger. And then so then I get the breadcrumb that I want. And there's other things I need to change. I need to change the margin, the paddings on here to get this to move down. I need to change the colors on hover. So still several different style rules that I need to change, but now I know how to do that, how I can get directly to the breadcrumb, how I could get, if I wanted it to deal with the A links in there, I just simply make a selector that does that. And now I can style that breadcrumb any